It was just after midnight when I got home from my late shift at the hospital. My apartment building, an old 5-story brick complex downtown, was mostly empty at that hour. The flickering hallway lights hummed softly, and the faint smell of disinfectant lingered in the air. I lived on the 4th floor. Apartment 13B. I had moved in only 3 months ago, drawn by the cheap rent. I didn't care that other tenants whispered about strange noises or weird shadows near my floor. I was too tired to believe in ghost stories. That night, though, something felt different as I unlocked my door. I noticed something strange, a small pink hair ribbon lying right on my doormat. It looked old, dirty, frayed at the edges. I frowned. Maybe a kid dropped it. But there were no kids in the building. I tossed it aside and went inside. The air felt heavier than usual, thick and cold. I kicked off my shoes and sank into the couch, turning on the TV just for noise. That's when I heard it. A faint knock. 3 slow taps, tap, 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 from inside my closet. My body froze. The remote slipped from my hand. The sound came again, deliberate, patient, almost polite. "Hello," I whispered. No response. My heart started to pound. I reached for the lamp. It flickered violently, then went out. The TV screen dimmed to black, showing my own reflection, and for just a second, I swore I saw someone standing behind me. I spun around, nothing. The room was empty. I grabbed my phone flashlight and walked to the closet. Each step creaked on the wooden floor. The air smelled faintly like perfume, old-fashioned, sweet, like the kind my grandmother used to wear. When I pulled the closet door open, it was empty. But hanging inside, on a rusted hook, was that same pink ribbon, the one I had left outside. My skin went cold. I whispered, "Who's there?" From the darkness behind the coats, a soft giggle answered me. It wasn't coming from my phone or the hallway. It came from inside the closet. I stumbled back, slamming the door shut, my heart racing so hard I could barely breathe. The giggle turned into soft crying, then whispering. A little girl's voice, "You took my ribbon. Now I can stay." The closet door creaked open again, slowly, by itself. I ran to the front door, fumbling with the lock, but it wouldn't turn. My phone flickered, then went dead. Behind me, small wet footprints began to appear on the floor, one by one, leading from the closet toward me. I turned. A pale figure of a little girl stood there, soaked, barefoot, her head tilted down. Water dripped from her tangled hair. The pink ribbon was tied tightly around her wrist. Her eyes, lifted black, hollow, endless. She smiled. "Thank you for letting me in." The lights exploded with a pop the next morning. Neighbors complained of a foul smell coming from my apartment. 13B, the building manager unlocked the door and found the TV still on, static, hissing. There was no sign of me. Only a set of small, wet footprints leading to the closet. Inside, hanging neatly on a hook, was a pink ribbon, and below it, carved into the wood, were fresh words scratched in shaky handwriting. "She's home." It was a cold Friday night in October, the kind of night where your breath hangs in the air like smoke. I had been working for QuickDrop, a late-night delivery app, for almost 2 years. I liked the quiet routes, the empty streets, the peace. No traffic. No people, just me and the hum of the van. But that night felt different from the start. The system glitched and showed only one delivery. A small package labeled, "Urgent deliver before midnight." The address was on the outskirts of town, near the old Ashwood neighborhood. Everyone in town knew Ashwood. Most of its houses had been abandoned years ago after the fire's blackened skeletons left to rot. Still, the pay for this one job was high. $150 for one drop. Easy money, I muttered, and hit accept. The GPS led me down cracked, tree-choked roads. The further I drove, the weaker the signal became until my phone went completely dark. When I finally found the house, it was a miracle my headlights even caught it. A two-story wreck with peeling gray paint and boarded windows. The porch light flickered weakly, like it hadn't worked in years. I grabbed the small cardboard box and stepped out. The wind howled through the trees, whispering faintly, "Don't go in." I forced a laugh. Yeah, okay. Creepy forest voices, very funny. The steps creaked under my boots as I climbed the porch. I rang the bell. Nothing. Knocked once, twice. Then a voice from inside said, "Come in." "It's open." I froze. The voice was low, scratchy, like someone who hadn't spoken in years. Pushing the door open, stepped into a dim hallway. Only a single candle burned on a small table. Beside it lay an envelope neatly addressed to me. My full name. I hadn't told anyone where I was going tonight. That's when the air seemed to freeze. "Hello." I called quick drop delivery. No response. Just the faint sound of water dripping somewhere deeper inside. I set the box on the table. Heart pounding so loud it echoed in my ears. The candle flickered violently, then went out, pitch black. Something brushed past my shoulder. I spun around, flashlight shaking in my trembling hand. The hallway was empty. But the box, the one I just set down, was now open. Inside was a small, black and white photo. A man stood on a porch. This porch? And behind him, just barely visible in the shadows, was another figure. I leaned closer. The second figure was wearing the same quick-drop jacket I was wearing now. My stomach dropped. I dropped the photo and bolted for the door. But when I pulled the handle, it didn't move. It was locked behind me. The candle had somehow relit itself. And beside it stood a man. His skin was pale, his lips cracked, eyes like two bottomless pits. He whispered, voice raspy and cold, "You were late." "You were always late." I stumbled back, fumbling for my phone. The flashlight flickered, then died. He took a step forward, dragging something heavy and metallic along the floor, a rusted meat hook. The next morning, the quick-drop dispatcher flagged my route as incomplete. Police found my van at the edge of Ashwood, engine still running. Driver's door open. Inside the house, on that same table, sat a small cardboard box. Inside it, a freshly printed photo. It showed me standing in the dark hallway, holding a delivery box and smiling at the camera. And in the background, that same pale man was there watching.